There was a time when your love overflowed like a river, steady, deep, and unwavering. You gave so much of yourself to someone who simply wasn't prepared to meet you with the same level of intention, commitment, and care. You were present for them in ways they didn't even know how to appreciate. You gave affection freely, attention wholeheartedly, and your energy unconditionally, only to be met with silence, emotional distance, or lack of acknowledgement. The imbalance was slow to reveal itself at first. You believed that love was about patience, about enduring the quiet moments with hope that they would eventually rise to meet you. But over time, it became impossible to ignore the chasm between what you gave and what you received. Their emotional unavailability, the moments of neglect, the casual disregard for your presence, it all added up, and it hurt. It was like watering a plant that never bloomed, waiting for a return that never came. And so, out of necessity, not spite, you made a decision. You began to retreat emotionally, not to punish them, but to protect the sacred parts of yourself that had been ignored for far too long. You didn't shut down because you stopped caring. You shut down because caring too much in the face of such indifference was becoming soul-crushing. This was not an act of vengeance, it was self-preservation in its purest form. You came to realize that loving someone else shouldn't come at the cost of abandoning yourself. You understood, deeply and clearly, that you were deserving of reciprocity, of tenderness, of someone who shows up just as wholeheartedly as you do. And the only way forward was for them to do the inner work, to meet you with vulnerability and truth, and to take accountability for the hurt they caused. You were no longer available for half-love, for breadcrumbs, or for people who weren't willing to give fully. This moment of choosing yourself, though difficult, marked a profound transformation in your life. It was a turning point that the universe recognized. The moment you began to pour into yourself with the same intensity that you had poured into them, something shifted. Life began to respond to your courage. Blessings that once felt distant began to arrive. The more you distanced yourself from the chaos of unreciprocated love, the more you found alignment in your own soul. This newfound balance didn't only enhance your emotional well-being, it touched every part of your life. Your physical energy lifted, your mental clarity sharpened, and spiritually, you began to rise. You walked with grace, carrying the strength of someone who has faced heartbreak and turned it into wisdom. Your aura shifted. There was a calm confidence that radiated from within, and people around you began to notice. You no longer looked like someone trying to earn love. You looked like someone who had found it within. And now, your person senses this change. They can feel your absence in a way that cuts deeper than expected. They're beginning to realize that the dynamic between you has evolved. You're not the same person who once tolerated inconsistency and made excuses for behavior that hurt you. The strength you now embody has made it clear, if they want to return, they will have to come back different. Gone are the days when you would lower your standards for love. You've raised the bar. You've set boundaries, not as walls, but as gates with requirements. And those requirements are built on mutual respect, honesty, and emotional maturity. Your person can no longer rely on charm or empty promises to find their way back. If they truly want to reconnect, it has to be with intention, with action, and with humility. They're starting to recognize how they mishandled you. The times they blocked your calls or ignored your messages, not out of necessity, but as a weapon of silence, are now moments they replay in regret. They see clearly how much those actions wounded you, how they left you feeling disposable and unseen. They remember the way you always treated them, with care, with softness, with understanding, even when they didn't deserve it. That contrast is now impossible to ignore. Their awareness is growing. And along with it, guilt. there's a deep remorse settling in their heart. For the first time, they're seeing themselves not as the victim of circumstances, but as someone who played a significant role in the breakdown of something truly beautiful. The realization is heavy, it's sobering, and it's made them desperate to make amends. But they know now that words are not enough. Apologies, no matter how sincere, can't undo what's been done. Only changed behavior can. They want to come back with more than just regret. They want to offer a new beginning, a clean slate free of past wounds, blame, and pain. They hope to build something stronger, something more intentional. A relationship rooted in truth and mutual effort. And yet, while they hope for this, the power is no longer in their hands alone. You've grown. You've healed. You've evolved into someone who no longer entertains anything that doesn't align with your peace and purpose. You've built a sanctuary within yourself. You are no longer in need of validation or affection that comes with conditions. You've cultivated your own wholeness, and from this place of strength, you now ask the most important question: does this relationship meet the standards I've now set for myself? That question guides your every step now. You are no longer afraid to walk away from what doesn't serve your soul. And while their desire to return may be real, you know that real love means more than just feeling. It requires consistent, grounded action. They must prove, not just promise, that they are willing to grow. Because the version of you that exists now will only accept a love that is intentional, secure, and balanced. The most sacred relationship you've built is the one with yourself. And you honor that above all else. Whether you decide to open your heart to this person again or continue on your path solo, you are anchored in the self-love that has brought you this far. You are whole, and nothing external can take that away. Your person is finally beginning to understand the gravity of what was lost. And as they sit with the silence between you, they are haunted by their role in creating it. They miss you, not just the presence of you, but the warmth, the care, the understanding you so freely gave. Their pride created distance, and in that distance, they found a painful truth. They pushed away the very thing they now realize they can't live without. Their heart aches, not because of loneliness, but because of clarity. They are beginning to see you as their peace, their grounding force, the person who saw them in ways no one else ever could. The silence that once felt like control now feels like punishment. And in that silence, they hear the echo of everything they failed to say, everything they failed to do. They are ready now. Ready to speak with honesty. Ready to communicate with the gentleness and care they once lacked. They are willing to do the work. But again, that decision is yours. Because the road to rebuilding trust is long, and it requires more than hope. It demands effort, humility, and consistency. Love is not built overnight. And you are no longer someone who can be convinced by words alone. Still, in the quiet corners of their heart, they hold on to the hope that one day, you might see their change, not in their apologies, but in the way they show up for you. The way they listen. The way they honor you. This time apart has been their greatest teacher. They now understand what they once ignored, that you are irreplaceable. They tried to move on, tried to fill the void you left with fleeting distractions and surface-level connections. But nothing and no one could replicate what you brought into their life. The more they searched, the more hollow everything felt. Because you weren't just another person. You were their person. Looking back, they see how they ran, not just from you, but from themselves. They were afraid of facing their own fears, insecurities, and flaws. And instead of choosing to grow alongside you, they chose to hide, to shut down, to run. But the truth always finds its way to the surface. And now they can't unsee it. They wish they could go back. Speak the words they held back. Love you better. Treat you with the care you always deserved. But life doesn't grant us do-overs. It only gives us lessons. And in this case, the lesson has been so deep. And so, this letter isn't about convincing you. It's not about begging. It's a confession. A moment of truth. An offering of honesty that's long overdue. Because even if you never return, they need you to know you mattered. You still matter. The love they feel for you has not faded with time. If anything, it has grown more sacred. They hope you've found peace. That you've found the kind of love that fills your soul and honors your worth, whether that's with them or without them. And while they are still learning, still healing, one truth remains: you changed their life. You taught them what love really looks like. You were their light in the darkness. And even though the path you both walk now may be uncertain, they will forever carry the memory of what you shared, the love, the growth, the depth, with reverence. Because once in a lifetime, someone like you comes along. And though they may not have been ready then, they are now. Whether that means walking beside you again, or walking alone with the lessons you left behind, they are forever grateful.